Hello, my name is Jeremy Fabry, and today's presentation will outline my analysis and suggestions for improvement on the Indianapolis Zoo website. To begin, let's take a look at what's working well. What works well on the business website is that it's simple and loads quickly. As Krug says, consumers care about content and not flash, as it's the quality content that will keep them coming back. There is simplicity, but also great content that is relevant to the zoo and any person who would be searching for information. This content varies from information on exhibits, zoo content, or animals outside the zoo. The website also makes great use of a call to action. According to Formstack.com, one of the key elements to an effective homepage is strong calls to action, and they need to stand out by being, quote, big, bright, and above the fold. The homepage excels by not even having a fold. As the main stopping point and directory for all of the website's information, it is imperative the consumer can take all of the essential data without searching for it. The homepage makes this easy by not having any scrolling room, and instead making good use of space and content. In regards to the call to action, it stands out with size, a bold command saying buy tickets, and a large animal animation. In addition, they replicate their call to action on every page. The website can be difficult to maneuver, but on every page they make sure their primary goal, moving customers to the purchase tickets page, is an easy task. This provides a way to keep the browser in check with where they are in the website. Much like leaving breadcrumbs, if the customer becomes lost, they can always return to the main purchase page through the familiar link. An area I noticed the zoo does well with in adding multiple content to make it clear. Now, as shown here, there's the call to action on the home page and then the call to action on every other page. And what's shown above is the example of how they make things clear. So this is an example. An important aspect of the website for the zoo is to be able to receive donations. Looking at the main navigation bar, there can be confusion on whether a donator would want to click on Support the Zoo or click on Contact them to then offer support. The zoo handled this by offering a donation link in each heading, as you can see by the information sent, because if a browser does not see what they're looking for where they believe it should be, they might believe it doesn't actually exist, as said by Nelson. In that respect, since the task of donating could have had a strong scent to a customer under either link, the website does well to provide two options so as not to lose any potential donations. With regard to search engine optimization, the website does well by adding keywords that are specific to the zoo and not having vague phrases. Throughout the site, I see things such as Indianapolis Zoo instead of just zoo, or Indianapolis Zoo Orangutan Exhibit, rather than just Orangutan Exhibit. This all helps bring searchers to the webpage. As Demers points out, loading times also have a large influence on SEO results, and thus the zoo's quick page times will rank them higher. Lastly, as Michigan Tech points out, a great way to have your website gain exposure is by updating content regularly, as fresh content is seen as more relevant to a search engine. The zoo does well in this regard by frequently updating the homepage with the most recent events that are occurring at the zoo. Some areas of improvement, we will start with aesthetics. Research reveals people make a subconscious judgment about an environment or product within 90 seconds of initial viewing. Between 62 and 90% of that assessment is based on color alone, according to Gillette. This is crucial information because the home page is the first thing we see, so the color must be efficient in capturing customers' attention, not turning them away. The first issue is the background. As you can see, the theme continues through all pages of the website. Looking at the page, the brown color is very unappealing. According to research by Kate Smith, the right shade of brown can give a feeling of wholesomeness and provides a connection with the earth. So this is good because the zoo wants to seem connected to nature, but the shade is wrong, and as the article says, the color can be overwhelming. This is due to the leaves also being brown, even a shade darker than the background. given the appearance of them being dead and dried. Now, the main issue is with usability and findability. Although the issues aren't major and the design has received compliments from testers, there is always room for improvement. The first issue is with the main navigation. I believe the links work pretty well in terms of clarity, but leave much to be desired in terms of effectiveness. The headings are fairly clear and straightforward, but the content within the links is not immediately revealed and can cause some user frustration, as I've seen in my usability testing. As shown, linked by color are the menus for each heading. The main issue is that these headings do not drop down and must be accessed from a different page. Essentially, to see all of the information I have listed here, a browser must access 7 different pages from the site, which is absurd. The goal is getting the consumer to the content they need quickly and easily. Adding a drop-down feature that showcases the content that will be found under each heading link will save time and allow consumers to find what they need. I would suggest switching Support the Zoo and News and Blogs. These are 2 different headings. This is because of the likeliness between the conservation and education and news and blogs, both offering information to the browser. A browser quickly surveying the page might overlook one of the options, and so the 2 tabs that are offering information should be next to each other, so that the consumer can clearly see which type of information they are sorted under. This adds to ease of usability and quicker satisfaction. The only modification I would make to the main navigation is adding a link directly to the animals. This seems almost absurd to have to mention, but as a zoo, I think the animals and exhibits should clearly be stated. As I've previously mentioned, the navigation bar has a glaring issue by not offering a drop-down menu that showcases content offered within each link. Now, it may be clear that the animals will be listed under Plan Your Visit after viewing the other links, but it is not explicit. Also, while the pages don't take too long to load, they are not instant, making the customer guess on where to click and then having to wait to see if they were correct, or if they will have to hit the back button to guess again is not a very good strategy for the website. I think an Animals tab should be listed to clearly show the animals, their photos, and exhibits. This would also free space under Plan Your Visit section for specific details such as pricing, tips, locations, etc. And second below the drop-down bar, I have shown the order that I would put those in. As a point of comparison, we will be looking at a competitor. A nearby competitor is the Brookfield Zoo, located just north in Chicago, Illinois. Their website does many things well with a great color scheme and involvement of relevant photos and links. Not only does the zoo offer more content in an organized manner, but the link headings are more clearly labeled and have drop-down menus for ease of use and navigation. Something the Indianapolis Zoo could pull from this website is how to clearly provide information about the business. Currently, headings aren't as clear with vital information such as our animals at the zoo is not mentioned, or purchase tickets. This is crucial because the animals essentially are the product, as they are part of the experience being sold, and the product needs to be clearly displayed. As Krug mentions, as part of the buying process, consumers want to be able to clearly find what they are purchasing and have it displayed nicely. Findability tasks must be considered when looking at the layout of a website, and you must consider what is important or what the visitors will look to find most often. What the Brookfield Zoo does that isn't effective is concerned with placement and content. Their call to action button is located below the threshold of the first screen, requiring users to scroll down to see it. The space a visitor sees without having to scroll is where the most important parts of the web page should be, is a quote from FormStack. The Indianapolis Zoo already has an advantage with this by not having a scrolling homepage, and therefore having all vital content within sight. The Brookfield Zoo excels by having all of the vital information ready on the homepage, such as location, hours, contact information, traffic and construction alerts, and links to everything a guest could wonder about. This information is also included in the menu, but having frequently accessed information readily available is beneficial so browsers do not have to search. As Krug likes to say, don't make them think. Now, a major issue with the website currently is that links are not clear. As Krug discusses, anything that can be clicked must be very obvious, especially if it is important to the viewer. This makes navigation difficult when users cannot tell where to go. An observation of Patel is that links should be blue so that browsers recognize that they are in fact links, as that is the most common color used. If links are not blue, they should be easily identifiable, such as allowing the user to know where they're going with a photo link. The zoo currently has issues with links. I've listed several images to express such. The zoo name is a main heading on every page that links back to the home page, yet there is no way to know it will do that. It needs to say return to home page or change color when moused over, something to make it more obvious. Current links are blue, such as in the contact information section, yet other sections that are not links are also the same color of blue. This is confusing to the users. There needs to be a clear distinction with color to avoid confusion. The main call to action to buy tickets and plan a package is not clear either. This is on every page and not on any of the pages. Is there a click here or a change in animation or color, anything to let them know? Usability tests that I've conducted have shown that no one uses this wonderful asset because they don't know that it does anything. Using this advice, the website will be running very well. There are already many aspects working well, such as the use of images that are visually pleasing to match content, good use of white space so as not to overload the readers, ease of use in terms of logical placement of content. Another great aspect is the incorporation of the search bar at the top right. A user can utilize this to search for terms like prices or hours and be directed to the closest results within the Indianapolis Zoo website. For future testing on the website, I would recommend different testing with menu navigation and see what works best most often with users and follows their navigation scent. The menu is already very user-friendly and explanatory, but increasing that usability and ability to find specific content will have invaluable results. Here are my references, and thank you.